The Big Circus Adventure by John Harmston. It was all anyone in town could talk about. The circus was coming. The children had been waiting all year, and they couldn't think about anything else. What new shows would there be this year? What new animals would be on display? What new death-defying stunts would be performed? What crazy new pranks would the clowns be playing? The circus train finally rolled into town. It had lots of cars, each loaded with lions and tigers and bears, and tents and clowns, and elephants and rides and horses, and every other wonderful thing that a circus needs. The train stopped near a big field on the edge of town, where sweaty men would unload the cars and set up the circus. The first ones off the train were the stars of the show. Gustav, the ringmaster, who owned the circus and told everyone what to do. Otto the Lion Tamer, master of all wild beasts. John the Mighty, the strongest man in the world. And the newest star of the circus, the Dazzling Rebecca, high-flying queen of the trapeze. Along with all the stars were the other popular acts, including Bango the Clown, Sparky the Human Cannonball, Binky the Chimpanzee, and Tiny the Elephant. There were over 100 people and animals who were part of the show, and they didn't have long to put together all of the tents and carnival rides. The next day was the circus parade through the center of town. Gustav the ringmaster rode on a white horse at the front of the parade. Next came the Dazzling Rebecca and the other trapeze artists, tumbling and flipping while the crowd cheered. Otto the Lion Tamer stood on a truck that held his tigers, who glared from their cages and licked their lips. John the Mighty came next, holding Tiny on his back. And don't forget the clowns, squeezed into their little car. How did they all fit in there? During the parade, the circus was built in the big field. A giant tent called the Big Top was put up with the help of all the workers and even a few elephants. Inside were 3 rings on the ground where the show would take place. Huddled around the Big Top were all the rides and the smaller tents where people could buy food or play games. Whether you had a sweet tooth or a salty tooth or no teeth at all, you could buy whatever you were craving. Popcorn, candy, pretzels, caramel apples, peanuts, funnel cakes, ice cream, or anything else you can imagine. The day of the circus finally arrived, and all the townspeople crowded into the Big Top. Gustav, the ringmaster, walked to the center ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to the most spectacular event you will ever see. Let the show begin.
It seemed like Gustav's main job was to do a lot of shouting. The clowns came out and ran around doing silly magic tricks and throwing whipped cream pies at each other. Bango the Clown was a very good juggler and could juggle all kinds of crazy things at once. Then came John the Mighty, balancing an anvil on his finger. He bent an iron bar into a pretzel and ripped a New York City phone book in half. Meanwhile, in other rings, Sparky was shot out of a cannon into a big net. Binky the Chimp jumped his bicycle through a flaming hoop, and Tiny the Elephant trotted around on just his back legs. Otto the Lion Tamer had lions, tigers, panthers, and other big cats in his show. His cracking whip told the cats when to leap in the air or do their tricks, and he used a chair to keep his animals from getting too close. The crowd was amazed at how fearless Otto was when he made the biggest lion open its mouth wide so Otto could put his head in it. Finally, it was time for the main event, and Gustav seemed very excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, never before in the history of the Earth has anyone successfully performed a quadruple somersault on the flying trapeze. A single somersault? Piece of cake. A double? Of course. A triple? Only the very best can do it. But a quadruple? Never! They say it's too dangerous. It can't be done. But today, before your very eyes, the Dazzling Rebecca will do the impossible.
The spotlights all followed Rebecca as she climbed up the tall rope ladder to the very top of the tent. She stood on the platform and waved to the crowd with a smile.
Those of you who are scared of heights might want to look away, because not only will the Dazzling Rebecca attempt this most dangerous trick, but she will do it without a safety net.
The crowd gasped, and the parents covered the eyes of their children. Rebecca grabbed a trapeze bar and swung from the high platform. The spotlights followed as she swung higher and higher while the drums rolled faster and faster. She finally let go, flying through the air and somersaulting once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. At the very last second, she reached out for another trapeze bar and caught it. A cymbal clashed, and the crowd began to cheer. But no! The rope suddenly broke. Down she tumbled, falling, falling. The crowd screamed, "Look away!" But before she could hit the ground, there was a flash of movement, and something caught her. It was John the Mighty to the rescue. Cameras flashed, and the crowd cheered again. The Dazzling Rebecca was safe. Rebecca picked up the broken bar and looked at it. "This rope was cut almost in half before my act," she said. John frowned.
Who would have done such a thing?
Binky the chimp jumped up and down. He knew who had done it. He pointed at Otto the Lion Tamer. Otto looked around in surprise. His secret plan had failed.
I should be the star of this show,
shouted Otto.
Before the Dazzling Rebecca got here, I was the star of the show.
Otto opened the lion cage he was standing next to.
I will have my revenge.
He pointed, and the lion jumped to attack John. John the Mighty wrestled with the lion while Otto ran away. Rebecca ran after Otto to make sure he didn't escape. The lion roared and pounced on John, but they didn't call him the Mighty for nothing. John grabbed the lion's tail and swung it around and around before letting go. The lion flew through the air and landed back in its cage before the door slammed shut. Otto climbed up the rope ladder to make his escape. Rebecca chased him up the ladder. Otto reached the top and grabbed a rope to swing to the exit and get away. He grabbed his whip and cracked it at Rebecca just as she got to the platform. She fell again, but this time she grabbed a trapeze bar and swung around. They came together in midair, and she kicked him right off his rope. It was Otto's turn to fall, but this time he was not caught by John the Mighty. Instead, John pushed Sparky's cannon in the way, and Otto landed in it head first.
You're fired,
said Gustav, who lit the big gun with a match. The cannon shot Otto across the big top and through the roof of the tent. He flew through the air and landed right on the sheriff's car. He wasn't going anywhere except to jail.
The show must go on,
said Gustav, and so it did. At the end of the show, the crowd jumped to their feet to cheer and applaud. As all of the performers came out to take their bows, the Dazzling Rebecca smiled at John. "Should we make that a regular part of my act?" He smiled back. I don't think so, he said. Even if you are quite a catch. After that, John the Mighty and the Dazzling Rebecca became best friends. In fact, one day they delighted all of their friends in the circus when they announced they were getting married. Eventually, they left to start their own circus with lots of children who made pretty good clowns. Thank you for listening to my story. If you had fun watching it, please like it, subscribe to this channel, and most importantly, share with your friends. If I get enough likes, I will make more of these stories to share on YouTube. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please consider buying the book, which has a little surprise ending not included in this version. Until next time, ta-ta!